Hello friends and fellow collectors, Jason back for another statue review. Today I'm reviewing the White Bone Demon from Hades Studio. Hades Studio is, from what I understand, I'm not super familiar with them, but they're a Chinese group that do resin statues. I've seen pictures of this online as well as the rest in the collection that they're doing. It's basically a Chinese mythology line. So they're taking a bunch of different characters from Chinese mythology and, you know, making them into statues. White Bone Demon, I'm not really familiar with the character, but it's one of those statues that when I saw images online, I was just like, I need to have that statue. It's so beautiful. The wings and everything, as hopefully we'll see. So I came across this statue on one of the Facebook groups that I'm in. I'm in a Facebook group that essentially kind of highlights more obscure statues out of Asia, usually resin statues. And there are a lot of statues that come up in that group that are not really in my wheelhouse. A lot of obscure anime stuff, a lot of, in my opinion, not very good statues. But every now and then there's one that's just a gem. And when I see it, I'm like, I need to have this statue. It's gonna go so well with some part of my collection. And this is one of those statues. I'm really excited to get it open. I'm hoping that it looks even something similar to what the images look like, because relatively speaking, it wasn't that expensive of a statue. It was $600 Canadian, which is under $500 American, I think. And it was $200 shipped or for shipping. And as far as I remember, I didn't even get dinged with duty for this. It just sort of showed up, you know, one day at my storage base, and I wasn't even anticipating it. All in all, a relatively inexpensive statue, relatively speaking. Hopefully the quality is there. I guess we'll find out. Anyways, let's get it unboxed. I haven't looked at it yet. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, to Prime Collectibles, please. It helps my channel a lot. And okay, let's get this thing unboxed and look together. All right, so let's open this thing up together. Hopefully you guys can see. I'll try and hold it up as I open it, but it might be a little bit awkward. So the first thing of note, I guess this is a certificate of authenticity. It is all in Chinese, so I can't read it, but that's kind of cool. And it looks like I got number 6 of 62. So that's fun. I didn't even know the edition size, but I guess there's only 62 of these things. So I'm just gonna throw that back on. Now we will open these. I apologize if the mic picks up a lot of noise here, but it's inevitable. Nicely packaged. Interesting. Oh shit. Not only does it have the straps, it's also taped. Thank you, sir. I don't want to risk knocking something out, but here you can see how it came. Okay, here she is, ladies and gentlemen, White Bone Demon from Hades Studios, and wow. What an impressive piece. Again, I didn't know what to expect from the studio. I haven't seen any other Hades Studio stuff. This is mind-blowing. For the price, not even for the price, I would have paid $1,000 for this thing easily. It is beautiful. I'm having a hard time even staying in camera because the wingspan is so huge here, but it's just, everything about this piece is immaculate. I mean, where do I start? I should say, first of all, before I even start, that I think this was billed as a quarter scale, I think. I'm pretty sure it was. And I think it's a little bit underscaled. Not necessarily her height, although probably if I compare her to other quarter scale pieces, she's a little bit short. But just when I compared her head to other quarter scale pieces, women statues that I have, it was definitely small. It's definitely closer to maybe like a 1/5. But anyways, I'll do that comparison later, and I'll definitively see if she is underscaled, but she seems underscaled to me. But that aside, what a beautiful, beautiful statue. I'll do a little spin here so you can take a look at all angles, because all angles warrant appreciation. Now, as I showed earlier when I was unboxing her, she does have 2 portraits, which is really funny because the portraits are nearly identical. The only thing I could see that was different was that one has brown eyes and one has blue eyes. So I guess whether you're a brown eye fan or a blue eye fan, you can swap out her portrait. But that was the only swap out. And like I said, I mean, the portraits are almost identical. So I'll start, first of all, with her skin. Flesh tone is unorthodox on her. It's kind of a, almost like a milky gray with a bit of some sort of like flesh tones, I suppose. Really hard to explain, but I think it looks awesome. She looks kind of like what you would imagine undead skin would look like. It's really nice. It has a bit of a gray tone, which is super cool. Her flesh kind of molds or melds into this pattern or design as if it's like part of her skin is sort of becoming some sort of clothing. Really, really cool. And that kind of gets into the deep blue grays. The colors are hard to explain, but it's grays and blues, but done really, really subtly and really well. And then obviously the gold accents look fantastic on it as well. They all pop. I'm always a big fan of gold on my statues. You know, this is one of the reasons why I bought this statue. I'm a big sucker for wings on my statues. I'm a big sucker for golds with deeper colors in my statues, and obviously I'm a big sucker for beautiful women statues, and this kind of nails all that. Really, really nice. The details up in these little pieces in her shoulders, all the ornate details of her clothing slash body are just so immaculately done. Beautiful. This little necklace was an extra piece that just kind of hangs on here, and if you look on the back, it basically just hangs down her back like this. Bits of her skin, like there's little details in her skin, little chunks, little dots, little divots that just add to the look of or to the impression of realism here. Especially when you get into her upper thighs and into her hips, there's just sort of like, it's a mixture of paint molding, how the sculpt has been done, that makes it look like it's just maybe decaying a little bit. There's weird sort of bluish, it looks like veins, and then there's sort of like potted bits to her skin here, and it actually even continues down into her butt. It looks, how can I describe this? When someone's been poisoned, and you know, you start to see the poison coming through into the veins, and it's kind of like gets gray. I don't know if this is actually something that happens when you're poisoned, or if it's just something I've seen in movies, but like the sort of, when your veins start to fill up with like a different color other than blood, and it starts to all get gray and looks like it's decaying. She has that sort of look on parts of her body. You can see it very subtly in her butt here. It looks like there's a decay in her body that's starting in her sort of mid-region and kind of spreading out to other parts of her. Like maybe at one time she was a normal woman, but something has taken over her and is kind of spreading out. I mean, that continues down into her arms. You can see these sort of like, almost look like antlers jutting out of her arms. Her breasts, you can see it all looks like it's decaying in between and around them and almost forming, like I said, like a type of clothing. She has these bones. I guess it makes sense. She's the bone demon, the white bone demon, but she has bone-like structures starting to come out of her arms here. Her spine sticks well out from her back. Her shoulder blades actually are defined and look like they're actually popping out from her body. Really cool. She's just this really interesting mixture of organic looking pieces mixed with you know, more metal pieces, but it looks like it's all fused. It doesn't look like it's like she's necessarily wearing armor. It looks like it's almost a piece of her, like an outgrowth of her, which is really cool. You can see in her wings here, it almost looks like little eyeball type shapes. The creativity of the sculptor has to be commended, because you know, before I did this video, I looked up the white bone demon just in Chinese lore, because I wanted to get a sense of what this character is, and there doesn't seem to be any clear defined idea of what this character from mythology is supposed to look like. So someone came up with this concept of this specific look for the white bone demon, and man, is it ever fantastic. Wings can be done in a number of different ways, but these wings have a really interesting twist to them, which just adds so much interest and a dynamic feel to it. I'll see if I can show, but you can kind of see how it kind of comes up, and then at the end, the tips of the feathers are kind of giving a really interesting twist. Again, it's subtle little details like that just make this statue so amazing. The bones that are jutting out from the top of the wings look very cool. The wings themselves, the feathers themselves are nicely detailed. There's a really nice, I'm not sure if it's picking up on camera, but there's a really nice pinky purple sheen to the wings that really stand out. But when I see the light shining on them, it really stands out. It's very, very cool. And it changes. It's more blue in here, and then it goes into pinky purple here, and even a bit of a coppery tone in here. And I don't know, I don't remember if I've talked about this yet already, but her face is beautiful. There's a nice gloss to her eyes, so they really sort of look lifelike. The detail in there's braids in her hair, very finely sculpted braids in her hair. She's got the bangs hanging down with the beads on them that look beautiful. But just the sculpt of her face is just stunning. She's like monstrous beauty, if I can find any way to describe her. Look in the hands here, all the detail becoming some sort of a golden armor of type. Like there's a pattern to the pieces of her fingers, but it's not a gauntlet. It's literally her flesh becoming this. Between the bones on the toes, you know, under the skin, it's different painted, so it actually gives the impression of gradients to the toes and the feet. She's so elegant. Her legs, the shape of her legs and the stance. The base is nice. It's got the hands coming up and the skulls. I'm not sure if that's part of her lore. I'm not sure if it has to do with her story, but it's really nicely done. These hands, there's disgusting, really thick veins within the hands themselves that just make them look amazing. I'm blown away by this statue. I've been all over the map with this review because I just keep seeing new things I love about it. If you think that this looks good in this video, it looks twice as good in person. Again, thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed the review and the unboxing. If you did, please like and subscribe. It really helps my channel. It's Prime Collectibles. And until next time, guys, later.